A very warm welcome to a brand new episode of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12 with me, Ritwika Gupta. Now, this season will also be diving into the journeys of companies that have made a global impact, companies that have scaled beyond borders. Take Canva, for instance. Based in Australia, launched in 2013, it's sparking creativity worldwide, including India. The secret to its success? Simplifying design with the power of technology. Tonight, I'll be chatting with Cameron Adams, co-founder and chief product officer of Canva, to understand how the platform empowers smaller enterprises to bridge their design gaps. Hi Cameron, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's really great to be here.
So let's start from the very beginning. How did the idea of Canva come about? What was the whole premise behind Canva?
So Canva started almost 12 years ago now, and it came out of the fact that we were seeing it was really hard to use design tools. Design was something that was only available to 1% of the world. And we thought it could be done a lot easier and given access to a lot more people. So we decided to start building a product that was easy to use, that gave people access to everything that they needed to do in order to design something, from finding photos through to finding fonts and illustrations, and then bringing it all together into a great looking design.
For sure.
And it took us about a year to build that. We launched it in 2013. And we have had an amazing response ever since, from people who have discovered new design talents that they never thought they had, non-designers who have discovered that they can create everything from a social media post to a presentation to a t-shirt. And our growth speaks for itself. We've now got 185 million people that use Canva every single month, including a lot in India.
Absolutely. In an earlier interview, your co-founder, Melanie, mentioned that she went through a marathon of investor meetings before sealing the deal for Canva. Do you think the old school pitch game still holds up in today's landscape? If not, what's the best way to, get investment today?
Pitch deck is still a very important tool in your toolkit, but it's not the only thing you're going to need to impress investors. You're also going to need a great team, which we put together in the early days of Canva. And secondly, it also helps if you've got some traction as well. If you're able to start building your product before you go start to try and get investment, it will help you validate your idea a lot better. It will help you show customer traction, and it will possibly help you start getting revenue, which I think in today's world is probably even more important than it was 10 or 20 years ago, where you could purely rely on user growth. Profitability and revenue are really important signals now in how good your idea is and how capable we are at executing upon it. So if you can get some of those runs on the board, it will make your first round of investment a lot easier.
What's interesting is that Canva is an Australian design firm but has captured the hearts and minds of users worldwide, including India. Now, considering the theme for our show this season is powering entrepreneurs for the global stage, what do you believe are the top 4 to 5 factors that have led the platform, to be loved and used all over the world?
So Canva did start in Australia 12 years ago. We now have 4,500 employees all around the world in over 8 offices, from Sydney to Austin, Texas, Beijing, China, London, and a whole bunch of others. I think our focus on the world stage from day one has been one of the really important factors in Canva growing. And creating a product that can truly service all parts of the world. We weren't just thinking about Australia. We weren't just thinking about the United States. We have always wanted to empower the world to design, and that has driven a lot of our decisions along the way. We actually internationalized our product in 2016, which was just 4 years after we started. And that was a really pivotal moment for us because it opened us up to so many different markets who use Canva in very different ways to the ways that they might use it in Australia or the United States. India has been one of those amazing markets for us. It's now our 5th largest global market.
Fantastic.
Where we think very deeply about the content people need to design in their country, like India. We think very deeply about the events that they might gravitate around when they're trying to market their business. We think about the product experience of what it's like to use Canva in different languages. We think very intensely about each market, and we're actually in over 100 different countries and languages around the world, which has really fueled an incredible amount of our growth.
Sure.
I think from the early days as well, building an amazing culture at Canva has been really important. We set out to build not only a different product, but also a different type of company. And that meant attracting the best people in the world, helping them do the best work that they could possibly do, and making sure that they wanted to be here at Canva for the long run.
Sure.
And that loyalty has really helped us hold on to great talent and help them build the product alongside us for the last decade. I think that's something that staying in Australia really played a role in, being able to build a startup in Australia away from Silicon Valley and a lot of the competitiveness that happens there for talent has been another factor in our success.
Cameron, what would be that one piece of advice for entrepreneurs who want to follow in your footsteps and come up with a business with a global appeal?
When you're starting out, you really need to be passionate about the problem that you're solving. I often see entrepreneurs who look for the area with the most money or the area with what is the most opportunity right now, but it's not necessarily something that they are passionate about. For me, if you're going to build a company that needs to last 10 years, 20 years, it's a really long slog, and you're going to meet a lot of challenges, a lot of problems, a lot of ups and downs. And the only thing that will get you through that is if you're truly passionate about the area that you're trying to tackle.
Right.
I think that's the most important thing. You don't necessarily need to focus on the size of the market or how much money you're going to make. You really need to solve a problem that you want to see solved. That's what we focused on since day one, and it's what has driven us through all the ups and downs of Canva and helped us focus on the right levers at the right stage to continue to grow Canva. So that's number one. I think you also need to really know your customer base, your possible user base, understand their problems intimately, and think more broadly about how you're actually going to solve that. You need to listen to the problem space that they're in, how you might improve their lives, and then use your entrepreneurial vision to come up with the solution that solves that. It mightn't be something that they recognize immediately. It might be several steps ahead. But thinking more broadly about the problem and meeting the user need is really important to building a successful product.
Fantastic. Cameron, give us a sense of what are the most popular things that people design on Canva?
Some of the most popular things, and particularly in India, are presentations and social media graphics. Presentations, one, because visual presentations are really fantastic at communicating ideas and helping other people, teammates, possible investors understand what your vision is and bring them along for the ride. Social media graphics, because visual communication is now an integral part of society. Whether you're selling your business, trying to sell a product, or trying to reach a new audience. And we see a fantastic amount of both of those types of things being created on Canva. Some of the more rapidly growing design types that we've released recently include whiteboards and videos. Whiteboards, we're seeing a fantastic amount of collaboration amongst teammates who can drag all sorts of images onto the whiteboard, leave their thoughts, type their thoughts in, leave comments. You can even drag video content onto your whiteboard, and it's really great for brainstorming ideas.
Sure.
And videos is one of the most engaging forms of content nowadays. And being able to easily produce a video on a Canva platform and ship it to a social channel or have a customer view it is incredibly powerful.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Tell us, how do you intend to compete with the likes of Microsoft and Adobe in this regard? Do you think you can beat them?
So when we started Canva, we really identified this white space in the market between productivity and creativity. And at the intersection of those, no one was focusing on it. We started building the product for that. And I think the 185 million people that now use Canva have proven that there really is a market there, despite a lot of people telling us all along our journey that it didn't exist.
Welcome back to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. This season, we are delving into the stories of companies that have left a global imprint. In conversation tonight with Cameron Adams, Canva's co-founder and chief product officer, to understand how the company plans to sustain its success through innovation and expansion. Well, shifting gears to the tech side of things, as a Canva user myself, I'm aware of the magic feature, which effortlessly removes backgrounds. It is essentially an AI-added tool, right? Now, given the buzz around AI, what is Canva's AI strategy?
So we've been working on AI for quite a few years now, even well before generative AI came onto the scene. Probably about 6 or 7 years ago, we really started beefing up our data team, who use a lot of machine learning to look at the way people use products to make suggestions and recommendations. And some of our early experiments in AI were about giving people better content. So if they used a particular illustration in their design, we could suggest other illustrations or other elements that they might want to use.
Sure.
Over the last 3 or 4 years, you've seen much more of a shift in AI towards things that users can really see in the product. Generative AI is a fantastic example of this. And we acquired a company back in 2021 called Kaleido. They're based in Vienna, Austria, and they had made some amazing technology to remove the background from an image.
All right.
So any image that you upload, with one click, you can click and it will figure out what the background image is, background scene is, and remove it for you. That has powered an incredible number of uses inside Canva. We've had over 2 billion images have their background removed. And it's a huge reason why people sign up to our subscription package, Canva Pro. From the last 3 or 4 years, we've used their advances in visual AI to push us forward in artificial intelligence across the whole product. So it's not just about removing backgrounds now. From the homepage of Canva through to every touch point in the editor, you can utilize AI to make your job easier, to do things that you couldn't do before, and to work together better with your team.
Okay.
We have an enhanced voice feature that takes any spoken dialogue in a video and cleans it up automatically. We have beat matching music functionality, which can take a music track, video footage, and sync them up seamlessly. We even have tools like Magic Edit, which can take any photo, allow you to select an object in that photo, and tell us what you want to change that object into. So you could change a vase into a pot plant, or a pot plant into a set of balloons. It's really incredible what you can do with AI throughout all your workflows now. And what's critical for us is that we have a complete visual content platform with AI integrated now. So you don't need to go out to 101 different tools to get stuff done. You can get it all done inside Canva, which saves time, allows you to collaborate easily with your team, and also saves an immense amount of cost because you're paying for one tool rather than having to pay for 101 different tools.
Right. So on that note, tell us, how do you intend to compete with the likes of Microsoft and Adobe in this regard? Do you think you can beat them?
So when we started Canva, we really identified this white space in the market between productivity and creativity. And at the intersection of those, no one was focusing on it. We started building the product for that. And I think the 185 million people that now use Canva have proven that there really is a market there, despite a lot of people telling us all along our journey that it didn't exist. We're really happy that we've built that category and that we've proven that visual content is an important part of the modern world. We're still the world leaders in that. We're the only complete visual platform that can go from idea through to finished product with all the steps needed in between. And we continue to grow. We really welcome any competition that comes in, but Canva's heritage of innovation, working with the best technology, and having an incredible team gives us an incredible moat for the many years ahead.
Sure. On that note, tell us, how do you think Canva can combine technology and creativity to help smaller enterprises and independent entrepreneurs? In other words, how can businesses with limited design budgets leverage Canva to bridge their creative gaps and meet their business needs?
Canva is an awesome tool for small teams because it gives you so many tools at your fingertips that you might be able to get access to because you don't have enough money, or you don't have enough team members, or you don't have enough time. Canva helps you with all three of those and gives you an extremely powerful but simple and easy to use platform that you can use to set up your business. And we have seen so many people start their businesses on Canva, do their initial pitch decks in order to get their first bank loan or their first investment, to convince their first team members to come on board with them, and then use Canva to grow as their team grows.
Sure.
Canva can be your marketing department, Canva can be your design department, and it scales with you. It not only works for small businesses, but also works for large businesses. We've seen countless people start using Canva in their personal lives, take it into their work inside a large enterprise, and it then helps their marketing team come together and explore ideas and produce assets. It helps their brand team scale their brand within a large enterprise and help people stay on message and work within the same visual brand. So it's a fully scalable tool, and it works at all different levels of business.
Finally, tell us, how are you planning to make the next decade for Canva just as successful?
So the first decade of Canva, we really focused on empowering every individual to design. So that allowed folks who are freelancers or running their own small business to quickly get off the ground. In the last few years, we've seen more and more people using Canva together, collaborating within their team, collaborating with teams inside their organizations, and we've really leaned into that. Last week, we had an amazing event in Los Angeles called Canva Create. We had over 3,500 passionate Canva users join us on the ground there, as well as 2.5 million people watching online. And we really pulled the covers off the next decade of Canva, which is also about empowering organizations to design, which is about bringing large teams together, helping them communicate with alignment, send the same message, use the same visual brand, and really scale themselves inside a large organization. We released a whole bunch of tools geared towards that, as well as a new offering called Canva Enterprise, which is designed for large teams.
Sure.
In the order of thousands of people or tens of thousands of people using Canva inside their enterprise.
All right.
And helping them manage the teams, the workflows, the processes that have to happen when you're working at that scale. Canva Enterprise is geared towards that. And it's just an offering in the full spectrum that we have. So we still wholeheartedly work for individuals and small to medium businesses. Canva Enterprise is just at the other end of the spectrum now and allows people to graduate up as their company grows.
Well, all the very best to you. Thank you so much for chatting with us, Cameron.
No worries. Great to be here.
With that, it's a wrap on this episode of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.